Hey guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be another Glock video, but with this one's going to be a little bit different. This one is going to be my project Glock that I've pretty much built with a lot of custom parts. So I just kind of wanted to share with you guys on exactly what I used to build this, what parts, where I got them from, and kind of my thoughts on the whole construction, with the outcome, was it worth it, and so on. So I just kind of wanted to share this with you guys. This one's kind of been built, I would say, a couple of years ago was when I really started just transforming my original Glock. So if you guys see my other video with my G17 review with the tan body and the somewhat of a gray slide, that one was the original WeTech Glock that I had. Essentially what I did was I converted it entirely, so this is pretty much the same one that you saw in that one video I posted for that review of the G17. This is the same exact pistol, I just changed it pretty immensely. So going into what I did in fact change, obviously on the outer part of the pistol I had the slide, the frame, and the mag plate changed, and then along with the slide release, the magazine release, the sights, the outer barrel, inner barrel, recoil spring, trigger spring assembly, a new housing for the hammer. I'll go into the internals more, and then the base plate that I was talking about is full trades. So going into trademarks on this, I have a full trade custom Glock, 100% full trades. This one's going to be featuring the Glock with the actual lock in there, 17 Austria instead of tactical, still the 9x19. Then on the bottom, you could see instead of Gen 4 or Gen 3 or anything that WE always has there, I have the word Glock in there. So the stippling here is different. This is a 3rd gen frame, and same with the mag release. You could tell it's not 4th gen, it's a lot smaller. It's the 3rd generation. And then on the bottom, again, the Glock base plate. I think this one's a Stark Arms. I just bought the mag bases for them on eHobby Asia. And then the bottom, for the most part, is the same. Flipping to the other side, this one is going to be the Austrian version, so made in Austria Glock, GES MBH. And then on the bottom you have the actual US patent on here. So usually it has a patent pending on the WE Glocks, but this one has the full trades because it's all custom. Going to the slide, you have the little markings there, and you have its own serial number. Looks like DMD076, and then that's going to be all the trades that are going to be on this Airsoft pistol. So full trades gives it more authenticity in my opinion. I mean, just the slide and the outer barrel alone, pretty good penny. The frame, however, was pretty cheap. I was surprised it was only like 30 bucks. It's really not bad at all. Then the magazine, this one is the WE magazine. Obviously this is still a WE, but just shrouded with custom parts. So only thing custom on there is just that mag base plate. And then I'm gonna go ahead and field strip this bad boy, show you guys what's on the inside. I did have to remove a few of the inside parts because they did not work too well. So it's something that I came across as issues, and I've worked on trying to fix it, but I kind of, didn't have time recently to do it. It might be something I'll start up again with completing this. So for the recoil spring I have in here, it is a garter spring. So the old one's trash. This one's a lot more heavier of a recoil. And then this little blue piece, I did have to shave down the sides or the tops of it so it could fit within the slide, because the way that this is made, these little grooves right here, essentially this is the piece that's going to sit in those, but you can kind of tell the distance would have been right there, so it would not have worked when you need it to be right there. So I had to just do a lot of custom work on this, and I'm warning you guys now, this is not something that'll fit together. These parts are these are essentially Tokyo Marui parts on a Wii pistol. They are compatible, yes, but to a certain degree. You're gonna have to do a lot of sanding and a lot of madness to get everything to work. So this is the outer barrel. It's kind of coated in some oil here. I had to, the silver part didn't come silver, it came all black, but I just had to do a lot of sanding so it would actually cycle properly in the slide. So this one's kind of like an aluminum material. It's very light. I kind of don't like that about it, but it came as a set, so the only issue is I couldn't use my garter barrel with this slide. But a lot of sanding took place there to get that to go. Then the actual slide, same thing. I had to sand a little bit inside that little chamber. I had to sand on the outsides. I had to sand on this this little straightaway here. I had to take out the blowback nozzle, and I had to sand in there as well. So then this metal casing, so this whole metal casing here, all the way, this whole assembly, so it could fit in there. That was just a pain. It's held together by that one little screw, and then you kind of just wiggle it out, and it's good to go. But a lot of preparation had to be done for everything to fit in here, and it was just insane how much work it took me. And it's still not super operational. It works, but it kind of acts up. Like, the odd thing is with the nozzle, it doesn't get stuck in the barrel, in the little hop-up chamber. When it blows back, pretty much the nozzle kind of stays like this, stationary when it's cycling. So there's some issues with feeding sometimes when it comes to the BBs coming through. This, however, is still the stock G17 nozzle. I've had it last me for almost 4 years, surprisingly. I've been abusing this thing somewhat. Then it comes with this little ejector pin here. This one's pretty much its own piece. You can see it moves around. That was kind of a pain putting in because it would never want to stay in there. But that's going to be the slide and outer barrel for the most part. Those were their own complications. I'm just letting you know if you guys try to go that route. Alright, sorry about that, guys. My camera actually fell on everything. But anyway, I was going back into the barrel here. The inner barrel, this is completely stock WE. This is the WE G17 inner barrel. I did have a garter steel barrel in here, but again, issues with it fitting in this housing. It didn't want to sit in there. It was too big, so there'd be like a little crack right in the middle there. It just didn't want to seal shut, so I was kind of forced to still use the same part for that, which it still works fine, but it's kind of disappointing that I kind of have that part laying around and I can't even use it. But let me go ahead and just put this back together for you. So that little plastic piece, it kind of sits right in there after you cut it up a little bit. Okay, so that's the slide. Now into the lower frame. Nothing crazy here with custom parts. I'll kind of go over my issues I had. But anyway, for the lower frame, same thing. I had to sand pretty excessively up on this this top portion here. You can see the abrasive marks here to get the slide to actually cycle and move. I had to do a little bit on the metal here as well. You can see it's worn down. I had to sand it as well. On the part in the back, not so much. Luckily that was even enough. This little portion is still the same. It's the stock material. And then the little spring in here, I changed that out. There's another little trigger spring in there that I changed out. This slide lock, slide release is also a garter as well. This one was kind of a pain because there's that little pin in there, or not a little pin, a spring that brings it down. That's definitely fun to play with, trying to put it in. And then I will get into the worst of the worst problems that I've had when I was building this is the whole hammer assembly. My issue is when I was trying to rack this gun, I racked it so hard over this part it actually cracked it right there. So you can kind of see it's cracked and it's bent. So if you look at it straight, you can see it's bent. So this is preventing a lot of garter parts to work here. So far I only have luck with it working with just the stock hammer, stock wheel, and all this and the springs. Well, actually a couple of the springs in there are actually garter as well. I did change those out. Those seem to work fine. So the hammer has a much harder kick to it. But at the time when I was trying to find a replacement bracket, this housing, I couldn't find it anywhere. A lot of places were sold out or discontinued, but I did recently find a website that does sell these, so that kind of gave me a little bit of hope. And maybe once I buy that bracket, I can install my garter hammer set, and then it should work a lot better, and then I shouldn't have any cycling issues, because my problem now is when I do fire this thing, or when I try to rack the slide, it doesn't lock the hammer all the way back. It only locks it halfway, and then it ends up flinging back. So that's a kind of an issue. You know, obviously with a project pistol or any project gun, you're not going to have everything be perfect right off the bat. It's going to be complications. It's going to be a lot of work. But, you know, it's fun. I kind of like little tedious projects like this. It's something unique. You know, you kind of, like, I essentially ended up building this thing like just from a ton of parts. I pretty much nixed out everything except the main base parts, because those really weren't available as an individual piece that can be bought. So it was a lot of, you know, issues finding some of these parts, so I just kind of kept them the same. But for the most part now, it ends up racking pretty good. So you can hear the hammer engage. And then the inside, it's, you know, it's not gonna be beautiful looking. You know, there's gonna be some marks on there because you're gonna have to, you know, have everything sanded. It still works just fine. No issues, except locking back sometimes. See, it didn't lock it with the slide catch. It's the hammer. The hammer. Yeah, and it vents a lot too. So that's my issue, is mainly that little housing in there that's broken. That's causing me a lot of problems. But the gun itself overall did cause me a lot of problems. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share with you guys on this little project. I've been meaning to share this with you probably the last couple of years, but like I said, I've had a lot of busy things come up in life, and it was very difficult to get back into making videos again. But now I kind of have time to share with you. So be on the lookout for a shooting video. Maybe once I buy that bracket, I'll show an installation on how to put everything together. It's really not that difficult, but usually a step-by-step guide is always nice to have. But that's for the most part all I had for you guys today. If you guys have any other questions, you know, where I got these parts, just let me know in the comments or send me a private message, whatever, and then I'll get back to you and let you know how I got things done with this. But yeah, guys, take it easy. Have a great day.